And the Kiwi farms against the UK is perhaps the digital war of independence. This is a massively important case because it's an attempt for a foreign country to extend its sovereignty beyond its own boundaries and threaten individuals, companies, etc., within other countries such as the United States. And we're going to take a look at this today on the Legal Mindset. We teach you to be your own judge. Of course, I'm Andrew Esquire. And this is a fast facts version, the quick and dirty version of the latest in legal news. If you like this, make sure to like the video and comment below. And of course, we do have a PowerPoint. So to guide you through this lawsuit, it was recently filed by 4chan and Kiwi Farms seeking an injunction, a declaratory relief against the United Kingdom. Now, what's the background here of this lawsuit? Of course, we have 4chan and Kiwi Farms, famous boards here versus the UK. Well, it's not just Beams. It's not just about that. It's about Ofcom, which is the enforcement arm of the UK under the Online Safety Act, trying to come out and threaten these boards and other individuals with fines, imprisonment, etc., arrests, criminal penalties for doing what is legal in their country. So in the country in which their servers are located and their businesses are located, particularly America, what they're doing is legal. But however, the UK says, because we no longer approve of this action, because your forums are accessed by some people in the UK, are going to try to threaten you as individuals in America to stop what you're doing or listen to our demands, even though what you're doing in America is legal. So that's the background here. And as a general background, the U.S. has a much larger tech sector than Europe. So there's been for a long time a little bit of jealousy there because the European tech sector, for what it is, and there are some companies that do stand out and shine, but they're behind the United States. They typically have lagged behind, and they've lagged behind in terms of overall internet presence. That's just a fact, right? The U.S. has been at the forefront, mainly because, well, a lot of the tech originated there, and they've stayed at that as compared it on a one-on-one basis with all of the countries in Europe. They beat them on a one-on-one basis. Now, the European governments in the UK have been seeking to regulate Americans. So they've been trying to regulate American internet, American companies. And you can see this with the arrest, imprisonment, the threatening of people, like the arrest of Pavel Durov, the opening a criminal case against X, which is, X is a Texas corporation. So they're all trying to come after Americans for stuff that is legal in America, stuff that is no problem in America, saying, hey, we're going to try to open up these criminal cases. We're going to arrest people, even though where you did the thing, it was legal. It doesn't make much sense. So what is the Online Safety Act? Well, it's UK's censorship law. Now, other countries have censorship laws, but the UK's, that's called the Online Safety Act. Of course, many times these things come in under the guise of safety, right? They say they're for safety, but they end up being rather draconian. And what they're really being used is to target what are American, US free speech rights. So things that are covered in the First Amendment. Well, the UK says, we don't like that. We don't like speech. We're going to toss you in jail for that now. That's the way the UK is operating under the Online Safety Act. And Ofcom is the UK corporation serving as the enforcement arm for the Online Safety Act. So they're a corporation that's like sort of a government corporation, a government business that is sending out these demand letters, these threats, etc., saying, hey, you naughty people, stop what you're doing. Except for here's the problem. They're sending those written requests to people in America. And those written requests are threatening massive life ruination level of civil penalties. They're saying we're going to refer you to law enforcement if you do not obey with our orders. So essentially, this is saying to an American and Americans, if you Americans do not follow British law, we are going to throw you in jail. Now, I thought we dealt with that problem in 1776, and I don't know what other Americans feel. I'm sure they are very similar with that, but that's not how things work in the U.S. So this is a key to sovereignty, right? To sovereignty, a country's sovereignty. If another country can say, hey, we've passed a law and we now are imposing it on a foreign country's citizen, that is a direct challenge to sovereignty. Therefore, they needed to bring this to get the UK to, take its tea and head home. And by sending this lawsuit, which has been filed already by the Kiwi Farms and by 4chan, both of which are in this as kind of co-plaintiffs, they said, hey, we want a declaratory relief. We want a declaratory judgment that this is not enforceable against Americans. And the important thing, too, is that this, if America stops this and has this precedent, other countries will look at this and laugh at the UK when they try to reach into their countries. If the UK is allowed to bully Americans, they're going to be allowed to bully the world. Any other country, anywhere in the world, Japan, Korea, anywhere, they're going to be able to say, hey, you guys got to shut this down. So if the UK is allowed to go here, I think we're going down a dark path. So hopefully 4chan is able, and the Kiwi Farms Locale Inc. is able to put up a good fight against this. I think it's a very important fight, and it's one that people should know about. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll catch you on the next one.